Special guest is the producer, director, and the curator of the 8th annual Women's History Month celebration. This year, because of COVID, it's going to be live streamed, this live stream celebration. And the theme is Refresh in Progress. And I love that because we're talking about refresh, but the in progress, that while you are refreshing, we're progressing towards something. So that's really encouraging. And the date for this event is Friday. It's coming up really soon, everybody, March 26th, and it will be live streamed. So we have her here with us this evening live. And I want this opportunity to just hear from, she's been doing this for 8 years, and every year there's been something spectacular where there are honorees, there's musicians, there's this whole atmosphere of just love, education, encouragement, tributes to the ancestors. I mean, everybody is represented in these events. And so you're going to meet the woman behind the mind and the creator behind this wonderful event. So please help me welcome Miss Joy Topping Mann. Hi, Joy.
Thank you. Hi, it's wonderful to be here with you.
You know what, Joy? I know you are so busy because this thing's about to go down. So I want to ask you, so how, in the middle of all this COVID pandemic stuff, how are you doing?
Doing great. I'm doing great, actually. At the beginning of this, it was tough. You have this fear of the unknown, and what you know to do, you do to protect yourself as well as others, But it's been good. I was on furlough from my job for 9 months. My husband was only on furlough for 2 months, which it was a good thing. I love my husband, but I think I wanted him to go back to work, But what we had to do is learn how to function in isolation, because being isolated, you can either be strengthened by it or it can break you down. So I found my strength in creativity.
You are that creative soul, and I've seen some of your work. For those of you, most of you who are watching this are familiar with her wonderful designs, her masterpieces, and creating just stuff from like, what? That's a what? That's a what? And it's pretty amazing to see, even the background, looking at the background of a beautiful home, the Mann mansion. I'm sure she's got every corner of that place something special, but that's not why we're here.
I'm actually in the man cave, and I decided to do a jazz gallery wall for him. So, yeah.
Oh, see? So, 8 years ago, you began this, mission of sorts to put together a Women's History Month program. So what inspired that, or how did this come to be?
Well, sisterhood is very important to me. And I wanted to have a platform that will allow us to applaud, uplift, and encourage local women in their accomplishments, while at the same time build a network of women who can encourage and support one another with their different endeavors.
Mm-hmm. And that you absolutely do. I think it was last year or the year before. Actually, I was one of the honorees for the New Jersey Mental Health Players, providing mental health support for women. And, again, just so many, just the opportunity. There's poets, there's singers, there's dancers, there's musicians. And I think one year there was even an all-female band. So, yes. So there's always, that women are in the forefront highlighting their accomplishments. So this year, because of COVID, you got to do it virtual. What is that? First of all, the ones that I've been to before, can you what was kind of like the meat or the foundations of the actual show, and what does it look like, or what is it going to look like now, virtually?
Well, it's going to be different. It's going to be very different because we are doing live stream. It's actually going to be live stream from my home. It's scaled down, of course. I have some fabulous singers, Phyllis Blanford, Patricia Walton, and also Zakia Zameh. And myself, we're going to be singing and accompanied by Brandon McCoon on piano. Mm-hmm. We also have a new author. Her name is Dr. Phyllis Bivens Hudson. And during this pandemic, she finished her book. So her new book is called Flying on Broken Wings. And I'm believing it's going to be a new bestseller. You know, she's going to be reading excerpts from her book. And this year we have a comedian, Tanya Augusto. And she decided during this pandemic to start doing some stand-up on Facebook. And
Wow.
her segment is called Let's Talk About It, you know. So I like to spruce it up. I never want it to be predictable. I love to entertain people, and I love them walking away with something.
And, you know, with the diversity and the talent and the diversity of the entertainment, it sounds like it's something for everyone. How are you going to pull? Let me tell you, because those of you who've been to this event live, it's something going on in every corner. There's vendors, there's musicians, there's photographers, there's art, there's people walking around selling stuff, there's food, it's just this whole energy. How are you going to be able to recreate that energy virtually? Like, how is it going to flow? Like, how long is the show? Because we were there all night.
I know the show is actually going to be an hour. I know we can't do 2 hours. And the difference is when you're doing live versus watching something on a screen or watching TV, we have to keep it interesting, or you can just change the channel, you know? So I think we have a reputation of things being spontaneous or unpredictable. And the way the show is this year, there's a few things, I'm not going to give it away. There's a few things going on that will hold your interest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things going on that will hold your interest.
I'm sure. So with this being Women's History Month, just have to ask, is there any woman in particular, historical or living, that inspires you, or for the moment at least?
Historically, I'd have to say Harriet Tubman.
Me too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, she led people to freedom, but you had to change your mindset and know that you were free. You couldn't have that slave mentality, you know. You had to know that once you were in freedom, that you were free, you know. So it's a mindset that has to be changed. And I like that, because with women's history, I wanted to change the mindset. Your sister, that other woman over there, or any woman, that's your sister. She's not your rival, you know. So I wanted to change the mindset of women being catty or jealous or vindictive toward each other, and just really strengthen the bonds of sisterhood. That's Absolutely. From a historical point. Now, like every day, I'd have to say Cicely Tyson really inspires me, because her career spans 7 decades. This woman did what she loved to do. And that's something else that I encourage. Do what you like to do. You know, tap in to that hidden potential and see what it is that you may have done in the past, or something that you like to do, and then do it, you know?
You know, listening to you, it reminds me that creativity takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to be creative, because not everyone's going to see what you see, or you know, sign on to the vision. You're seeing something that has never been seen. And so it's hard to explain it to people when you're creating. So in the midst of this, you know, refresh in progress, what does that mean to you? Why did you pick that title?
Well, the pandemic was very hard on all of us, you know, having our lives just abruptly change like that, you know, in the midst of losing your job or being furloughed, or people that you know dying and you can't visit your friends or family. We had to do something, you know, and those of us who are fortunate to have survived this, we have to hit the reset button. You know, this is a new normal that we're in right now. So people saying, oh, we have to return to normal. No, you don't return to normal. You know, you have a new normal. And with that new normal, maybe you'll go back to your job, but you have to do some things that give your life a little bit more meaning. You know, if it's, oh, I'm going to start reading more, or I'm going to take up this hobby, I'm going to do that. Hit that reset button. You know, I have friends, a friend of mine, Celeste Bateman, she returned to repurposing furniture, beautiful designs. You know, another friend of mine, Aya Sequoia, she went and bought herself a rowing bike. And the reason she did that is because it helped to alleviate stress, you know, because mental health is so important during this pandemic. Others decided to take online classes, get licensed or get certification. You know, all those things are very important, you know. So that's what I mean by refresh. You know, if you've already started it, you're continuing. You know, if you haven't done anything, then start, so that when we come out of this pandemic, we come back strong and we soar. You know, we don't want to crawl out of the pandemic. We're going to soar out of this pandemic.
Wow, very well said, Joy. You know, and it's interesting that even in the midst of this interview about you and about this program and this event, this annual event, that you are inspired by so many other women, and that you choose this platform to encourage them, to shine on them. And again, that's actually how we met, you know, which is interesting. You know, just the whole singing thing, dragging me, you weren't dragging me, but, you know, taking me to places, introducing me to open mics and things like that, didn't know me from anywhere, you know, and that is the type of spirit that you have. And I'm sure that this 8th annual will turn into an 18th annual and a 20th annual, you know, because women always need, women always need to be encouraged. Absolutely. So moving forward, we got the event coming up. How can people support? How can they find out more information about this? Now, I know that you got another partner here, Gregory Burris, who is like, I call him like the wizard of everything, because he knows everything and everybody. So he's probably going to shoot me for asking this question, but you know what? You can't have too much information. So from the originator's mouth, how can people support, help, show up? How can they invite people? How is this going to work?
Okay, well, a couple of things. Number one, you can tune in on Friday, March 26th to the 8th Annual Women's History Month celebration. You can just go to ifebasimmasterpieces.com on Facebook. Also, we do have a GoFundMe page, so we welcome your donations because we're not in a brick or mortar building. You know, I had to find some creative and inventive ways to raise money for the honorarium for the people that are going to be in the program. I highly believe that a workman is worthy of his hire. So these free things and exposure, I'm beyond that. No, you are going to be paid. So with your help, we can also do that. So just go to Ife Basim on GoFundMe, and you can hit the donate button and donate as much as you like.
And donate a lot. Now, please, my intent is not to offend anyone, because there are many people struggling. There are many people struggling financially, and it's real. And whatever you can give, because we talk about, I know creativity does take a lot of courage, but creative souls are very fragile right now. You're talking about people who spend their life, you know, waiting for the next gig or preparing for the next gig, and with social distancing can't do that. These people, could you imagine going to a wedding with no music, no art, no flowers? You know, that's art. We need to support the arts. We need to support the arts financially. You know, it's worth it. So whatever you can give, if you can't give, just show up. Show up with your face on camera, show up with applause, show up, or tell somebody else, tell 10 people, you know, but this is important. because this is not just uplifting of the arts and uplifting of women and encouraging and inspiring women of all ages doing all types of things. She said comedy. I mean, what kind of show you going to get?
Yeah.
Comedy. You got 4 or 5 performers, because I'm not going to say y'all just singers, but performing. I mean, you come on. You got authors who get them now while you can afford the book.
Exactly.
You know, so
that's right.
So you
that's
know,
right.
it's, you don't know where people are going to be. So use this opportunity to support each other and support this masterpiece right here. So in the final words this evening, I'm going to give you the final word. Anything you want to say about anything, Joy, and anything about this event, or just anything in general, because you all got to come. Okay.
Well, I'd like to say, number one, I do want to thank Denise McCoy, because
the
first 7 years of Women's History Month were held at the Priory in Newark, New Jersey. And she's been very instrumental. She's helping with this one as well, so she's not out of the picture. But I'm thankful to be able to be a part of this. As I said, sisterhood is so important. I have met so many people, you know, through Women's History Month, you know, and other people have met so many women. You know, it's a uniting, and they're meeting new people, making new friends, and supporting each other, you know, which is so very important. And Women's History Month, I have to say, is not confined to brick and mortar. The celebration will continue to go on, even if we're doing it live stream next year. We're going to continue to do this, and we want your support. And we want you to be there and watch the show on the 26th.